Hello, I'm Alice Patterson, and for the past 7 years I've been working as an analyst on the investment team at an Edinburgh-based investment fund. In this short clip, I'm going to speak about the importance of management and leadership in a successful business. Good management, leadership and governance is fundamental to operating a successful business. This includes having a clear and realistic strategy that is well communicated to the rest of the company and has the buy-in of staff. It also entails playing to the company's strengths and keeping abreast of changes in the industry. For example, are key competitors increasing their market share significantly? And if so, why? What's going on there? Or has there been an introduction of a new technology that could disrupt the sector and give other companies a competitive advantage? It is important to understand whether industry changes are temporary or permanent, and it is also beneficial to be able to anticipate the rate of change. If changes are expected to be longer term, then it may be sensible for management to explore expanding the company's offering into new areas. For example, the introduction of email had a negative impact on the sending of physical letters in the post. Subsequently, profits fell at companies like Royal Mail. Diversifying a business into a new area can be wise if it is possible to take advantage of existing customer base or some of the existing structure of the business, for example, the sales force. It is a risk to be too different, as the staff might not have the right expertise, it might cost a lot of money to set up the new direction, and ultimately it might be too much of a distraction from the core business into an area where the company doesn't have an existing track record or a good reputation. Skilled managers are leaders who can bring out the best in their teams. The key members of the management team are the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO, the Chief Financial Officer, also known as the CFO, and the Board of Directors, in particular the chairperson of the board. Managing a company is a juggling act of keeping all stakeholders, so that's the staff, suppliers, customers, and shareholders, keeping them all satisfied whilst making a profit. The management of a company set the tone for the company. They create the culture and they can lead by example. Investors place a large emphasis on track record and skills of management. Investors need confidence that the management team is capable of running the company successfully and making good judgment calls and decisions whilst avoiding risky gambles. How a CEO behaved to previous company is important because it is a good indication of how he or she may perform whilst leading the current company. There have been instances of fraud that have come about because the CEO is a bully and senior management has been too scared to admit failings or declining performance. This has led to incorrect figures being published to the market and subsequently the company being fined. A CEO who is a bully is a risk, and this should be a warning sign to investors. Does the CEO have a history of going on a buying spree and attempting to build up an empire? This could signal someone with a big ego who might try the same strategy of acquiring other companies wherever they go. Buying other companies can be a good way of improving the offering of a business. However, only if it is at the right price, doesn't push the company into unmanageable levels of debt, is complementary to the current business, and the cultures are compatible. The Royal Bank of Scotland, which you might know as RBS, is an example of where empire building got the company into trouble. The CEO at the time had the nickname of Fred the Shred, as he had a reputation for being ruthless. He was subsequently ousted, many of the parts of the business had to be sold off, and then the company recently decided to rebrand as NatWest. Does the CEO have a reputation of investing enough money back into the business to ensure future profitability? Was the CEO or CFO careful about not borrowing too much money and taking on too much debt? Did management give money back to shareholders via dividends or share buybacks? So dividends are regular payments that some companies pay to shareholders, and share buybacks is when a company buy back some of the shares and that increases the value of the remaining shares. If the company did pay dividends or buy back some shares, was it prudent to do so? Did the company have enough cash to cover the cost of this, or did it have to borrow money, which is risky and unsustainable? Conversely, some companies might have lots of cash, but be a bit stingy with it, and this isn't ideal from an investor's perspective either. As an investor, you would want the management of a company to have integrity, and you would want to have confidence that they will make good decisions and do the right thing by their staff, stakeholders, and wider society. The board of directors has the overall oversight of the company and for the management team, and it's important that the correct skills and experience are held by the members of the board. The board of directors needs to understand the business and be able to direct and challenge senior management. Ideally, the board should be diverse and representative of the staff and customers of the business. Succession planning is also an important part of managing a company. When key members of staff leave, is there someone suitable to replace them in a timely manner? Sometimes the share price of a company can fall when a key member of the senior management team leaves. This could be if a good CEO leaves and either a replacement hasn't been announced or the market doesn't have much confidence in the new candidate. It isn't usually a good sign if the CEO leaves suddenly without a replacement lined up. It can suggest some kind of foul play. On the flip side, the share price can go up when a strong candidate is announced as the new CEO. Risk management is a key role of companies' leadership team also. This involves understanding and anticipating risks in order to react to them in the best way, as well as minimise potential damage. So as you can see, there's a lot that a senior management team has to do, but I hope that what I've just said highlights the importance of having a good management and leadership team in place. Thanks.